Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, September 4th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is every day in every way. I'm on my healing journey. And we had some shift over the weekend. Venus went direct. Hooray. And today we have some other shift as Jupiter is going retrograde. They kind of tag teamed. They're both supportive, benevolent planets. And so they're like, okay, we're going to tag team this so we can hold the light, hold the joy in 2023 energy. Now, while Venus is now officially direct, actually, as of this recording, it's just on the verge of officially going direct. So, as of this recording, we're still technically in retrograde, but it's about, by the time this is uploaded, Venus will be direct. We still are going to have the entire month of September with Venus in the shadow, going over these lessons. This is the thing about planets going retrograde. It's like intense studying for an exam. It takes us deeper into this energy. So for the next month, and even a little bit into October, Venus is finishing up in Leo, holding this love vibe, asking us to nurture ourselves, nurture the relationship we have with ourselves, nurture the relationship we have with our heart, check in with our inner child, be present with our inner child, bring forth our creative juiciness. So lovely energy now that it's direct, but watch for the lessons that you have been experiencing since the beginning of summer, since I believe June that Venus went into Leo. So relationships have been challenging. Maybe there's a place for love to open up where it felt like it was closed down over this time, but really make sure you're checking in with your inner child and your heart as you move forward with this. So Jupiter going retrograde today at 7:11 a.m. And interestingly enough, the last connection that Jupiter is making before going retrograde is a connection with Mercury. Now this is interesting because Mercury took this same retrograde path back in March. So if you remember your lessons in Taurus, your lessons around money and worth and the value of things and productivity, and even lessons around leaning into the pleasure of the planet. If you remember any of that from March, oh, that was a hiss from my Taurus. If you remember any of that, more hisses. She didn't like the retrograde. We have more of that coming through with Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Taurus. Jupiter is going retrograde at 15 degrees and retrograding all the way back to 5 degrees. And this will be until almost 2024, December 30th. The Taurus is just so displeased right now. She's being chased by wolf, but she's also displeased about this retrograde. So yeah, all the way till December 30th will we have this retrograde going on. Now, the interesting thing with all of these retrogrades is retrograde to me is a call within, a call to look within. I have a client who's going through their Saturn return, and oh my goodness, they kind of just keep getting walloped. And since our Saturn is in Pisces, I'm like, hey, this is a call to God. This is a call for you to look to God, look to Source, look to the universe, lean on God. And I'm feeling that for all of us on some level or another with all these retrogrades. Now, this isn't the man in the sky shaking the finger kind of God. This is God, creator, source, light, love, energy within ourselves. We've made so many things God. We've made money God. We've made celebrities God. We've put that authority. We've put that power. We've put that energy into so many things that we give our attention to. And yet this is a call to look within. Now, with Jupiter retrograde in Taurus, money things could get a little wibbly wobbly. We may have to do some more worth work. Chances are we're going to have to do some more worth work on ourselves. This may not be the most fun and outside seeking sensual of times, but this may be a time of noticing smaller pleasures, like really digging into a taste of a fruit or a strawberry, or appreciating time with a loved one, instead of looking for the big things that fill your dopamine, that fill your serotonin. Really learning to appreciate the little things. The image I'm getting is when a cat is just like in its bliss and just purring and making biscuits, baking bread, whatever you want to call it, kneading. That kind of energy, how they're just so pleased in that moment with the isness. And I think this goes hand in hand with Mercury. Like I said, Mercury connecting to Jupiter. Mercury in Virgo. Can you find the pleasure in being, the pleasure of being, in and through this Jupiter retrograde? Can you make these energies bigger? Now, any lessons we have in Taurus stuff, so around money, worth, productivity, etc., 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 etc. We've gone through it so many times. Those can be made bigger, especially with Jupiter being the planet that's retrograding. So be aware of that through this. I have some interesting cards. I'm not going to dig into all the cards quite yet, but I have the Thunderbolt along with the Friendliness. Here's a book we had to read in high school, Things Fall Apart. That's what just popped into my head. Things may fall apart over this time, especially as we finish up some of these other retrogrades, so that better things can fall together. This is these two cards together. The Friendliness, like these things that are falling apart, like if you lose a partnership or a job, there is something better for you. And this is a call to trust that God source energy within you that is guiding you, taking you to that place. So keep that in mind through this retrograde. Jupiter is the benevolent planet. Yes, it makes things bigger, and that can feel challenging at times, but this is for goodness, that these things are ultimately happening. And I always am reminded, my friend Marcia said, God, Spirit, Universe can take the nefarious and use it for good. So that is always in the back of my mind, and here we have that repeated in the cards. Anything else about this Jupiter retrograde energy? I think that this is a time of building. So I think this is a time of building a lot energetically in your vortex, so to speak, in your mind, in your daydream. You may not necessarily see it yet coming into fruition because of all these retrogrades in this Jupiter retrograde, but this is such a powerful time to be building that dynamic in your mind. And I get that again because Mercury rode this path and Mercury connecting in. So keep that in mind. Like if you're not getting that instant fruit, I saw a meme the other day. It's like, don't worry if it's taking so long. Remember, the fruit is the last thing on the tree to grow. So don't worry if it's taking a little longer. Keep feeding the good. Keep feeding the God. Keep feeding the good. Let's look at what else is going on besides these two beautiful shifts. We have the moon actually in Taurus, ushering us into this retrograde. So the moon in Taurus, what I love about the moon is the moon can show us these things that are hidden. So you may already have some things popping up around money. Wonderful. It's giving you a focus point. So again, the idea is not to let it tear you down, but remind you that there is the friendliness, there is a buildup. There is something that is wanting to build. It may take its time. Slow and steady wins the race. We got going on here. The moon in Taurus is connecting to the sun. It's connecting to Venus in a square. It's connecting to Mercury. It's actually connecting to Jupiter. So, especially that moon, Jupiter newly retrograde energy, stuff is bubbling up to the surface. Listen, higher self. You know, Taurus is one of those signs where it's got its undercover spirituality. I can seem so concerned with the things of like this planet and Earth, but this Earth is spiritual. Everything is God. Everything is spiritual. You see God in all, or you don't see God at all. I think the song is "You See Good in All," or "You Don't See Good at All." No, I think it's God. I don't know. I don't know if it's God or good. That's been one of the weirdest things that it's something from my childhood. For my dad's 50th birthday, my parents had me in their 40s, so for my dad's 50th birthday, I couldn't remember how many zeros went after just for 50, so I wrote Happy 500th for his birthday, and that's been happening lately with good and God. It's been so interchangeable in my head. I'm like, is it God or is it good? I don't even know. So, it's God. It's good. And there's so much good here for us. There's so much God here for us. I love it. Anyway, moon connecting to Jupiter, bubbling these energies up for us to look at. Check out where Taurus is in your chart. Look at it from both your sun sign. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, whatever, from your sun sign to Taurus, and look at it from your rising sign. We always have dual layers of lessons, and I promise they both apply. Final cards. I didn't show you. The only one left is the compromise card, which is appropriate with this because I called this the Don't Compromise card. So this is really a time to learn and know your values. Vote with your values, meaning spend your money aligned with your values. Something that I want to do and I talk about doing and sometimes I get good at and then other times I pull back away from is like Amazon is not my highest value. I like buying from small shops. I like putting my money into a place where it's really being beautifully recirculated. But I'm not always good at that because Amazon is easy. And I also value easy and there's nothing wrong with that too, right? So this is a time to really look to our values and find where we can align more with those energies. So I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better gets, the better gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And remember who you are. Namaste.